Thank you, Lord. We're about ready to go off there. Frosty Paul called in, Henderson.
Give your heart to him, become a believer in the one who is our lost soul receiver. There's nobody like him. You've never seen anybody like Jesus. You've never met anybody like him.
The views, opinions, positions, or strategies expressed on WLAF TV 12 do not necessarily reflect those of the staff, management, ownership, or advertisers of WLAF TV 12, 1450 WLAF Radio, FM 100.9, or 1450WLAF.com.
Hey folks, Mark Backman with Independent Insurance Consultants. I appreciate you watching my commercials here on WLAF, and I appreciate you tuning into the R.L. Gibson Show. Now, a lot of you called in with questions during the show, and some of you called my office afterwards, but there's even more of you who haven't called me yet. It's time to pick up the phone. Give me a call. It's toll-free, 1-866-691-5571.
Riggs Drugs has been a part of Campbell County for generation after generation, serving our friends and neighbors. And now we have redesigned our store to better serve you. It's the same knowledgeable and friendly staff, but a new look and new technology to ensure you get your prescriptions fast. We've always got you covered from prescriptions to all your home health needs. We've always been more than a pharmacy, still offering a huge selection of gifts and decor here at the new and improved Riggs Drugs.
Hi, I'm Ann Love with Linda Kilgore State Farm Agency. I have worked in the insurance and financial services industry for over 20 years, formerly with the John R.W. Brown Agency. I'm a native Campbell County and enjoy helping people with their insurance needs. Stop by and see me for all your insurance needs.
I tell you what, with these four machines, we've covered all the bases. We've got a party barge, a mud beast, a couple of nasty ATVs for guys who just love to get dirty. Like the Razor High Lifter Edition, this machine is built for the mud. Basically, it's a water buffalo. It will take you through the mud and brush like you wouldn't believe.
Located next door to Value Mart Furniture and Appliance, come out and see Dennis and Will for all your hunting and fishing needs today. We have a great selection of Walther P22, Smith & Wesson, Remington, and 6 Hour, just to name a few of our top line selections. We carry a full selection of ammunition and knives. Tennessee Outdoors is also your local Husqvarna power equipment dealer. We're also the local Smoky Mountain water distributor. We rent water coolers and offer home or office delivery. And don't forget, we also carry a full line of Rug Doctor carpet and upholstery cleaners for rental. Most major credit cards accepted. Financing and layaway is available. Tennessee Outdoors in Huntsville, Tennessee.
280,000 Tennesseans can't get access to health coverage. This includes 24,000 veterans. We call this the coverage gap. So who gets access to health coverage and who is in the gap? TennCare is available for Tennesseans who have a very low income and who also fall into one of these categories: children under 19 years old and their parents, pregnant women, women with breast or cervical cancer, and some people with severe disabilities. Healthcare.gov coverage is available to Tennesseans who are above the poverty line. Everyone else is in the gap. Like a small business owner just starting his business, or perhaps a young woman just out of college, working an internship and waiting tables part-time. Without access to health coverage, those in the gap can't get preventive care, regular screenings, or even life-saving surgeries. What is the solution? Governor Haslam has a plan called Insure Tennessee. Any Tennessean who is a U.S. citizen and in the gap will be eligible for health coverage. The governor's program is a way to bring $1.77 billion of our federal tax dollars back to Tennessee. It's not a new tax. This money has already been set aside for the governor's program. Tennessee hospitals have agreed to pick up any costs not covered by the federal government, and the program can be canceled at any time. Insure Tennessee will never cost the state a dime. What happens if we don't put this program into effect? Hospitals will have higher rates of uncompensated care, and the cost of that care will be paid for by those who do have health insurance or by Tennessee businesses who provide insurance for their employees. About 40 hospitals are expected to close. Tennessee will lose about 20,000 jobs. But what happens when we do accept this money? 280,000 Tennesseans will have access to health coverage. The rate of uncompensated care will go down drastically, relieving the financial burden on hospitals and those with insurance. Hospitals will stay open, and those who work in those hospitals will keep their jobs. 15,000 new jobs will be created. With Governor Haslam's program, all Tennesseans in the gap will have access to basic health coverage. We are already paying into this program with our federal taxes, but our legislators must approve Insure Tennessee before we can put it into action. Share this video and click here to see what you can do to close the gap.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome again to Campbell County Issues. Tonight's show is also being brought to you by Ron's Golf Cart and Indoor Flea Market. Folks, now Ron's staying open until Christmas, until 8 o'clock on Fridays and Saturday evenings. So check in there and get your, especially grandmothers and or actually mothers and fathers, and you got a dad that's down on the farm and you want to surprise him, and they got some good golf carts down there for you'll be surprised at the cost and be happy. Then you got the North Face jackets, rain jackets, regular jackets, Ugg boots, purses, all kinds of antiques. So you just go and check Ron out, and I'm sure you will find something that you'll like. And folks, starting tonight, I will only be on, especially through the winter months, 1 hour. Now, tonight and next Sunday night from 9 till 10, Bob Vannon will be here campaigning, I guess that's it. And so he's about the last hour tonight and next week. Then on November the 14th, I will actually start at 8 o'clock and go till 9. And also the time changes this Saturday night. 2 o'clock, you set your clock back. Like it's supposed to be at 2 o'clock, you set it back to 1 o'clock. And that way you get that extra hour of sleep that you lose in the spring. But I like what we used to call fast time. I like a little more daylight in the afternoon. But folks, this time next week at 8 o'clock, we'll be dark for at least 2.5 hours. And I don't know, in the wintertime going across the mountain, there's not a whole lot of traffic. So I thought, well, this is a good time, and I don't get overwhelmed by calls here anymore. It's since the issue with the senior citizens and Mr. Slusher and what happened, a lot of people were just afraid to call. But folks, you're still welcome to call, and I just hope that, because I don't plan to quit right now. And And I still got to July before he can be 75, and I got plenty of time to think about it. You're on the air.
What do you say, R.L.?
I'm afraid to say it. What's up?
Let me ask you a question. I might be a little bit stupid on this state representative. What are they doing for Campbell County, for instance?
Well, if you listen to the candidates, now I know that at Mr. Powers has, I guess, got a grant or supposed to secure a grant to build a bridge across the railroad tracks down there so they could, for that helipad, helicopter. And outside of that, I know that whenever I read his ads, it says that he's helped the veterans, but I can't tell you because he's not in my district. But and Mr. Fannin says that the governor of Tennessee has tried his best to get the House to and Senate to vote on a bill that would allow, and Bob will talk about that tonight, to allow Insure Tennessee. And they keep turning it down, and he says if he gets there, he'll work his heart out for, because the governor actually wants that to happen. And that's about all I know. If you hear the people talk here at Cause's show, and knowing that my basic philosophy is a Democrat, but they don't have a whole lot positive to say about Mr. Powers. But
I understand all that, but ain't Mr. Powers or Mr. Fannin is supposed to, all these empty buildings around here in Campbell County. I mean, I know Bob Fannon's from here. I know Mr. Powers is from here. But why can't we get some of these empty buildings rented, little factories or something to help work here? I mean, I don't see anything.
Well, where are you from?
I'm from Tennessee. I'm from the Campbell County.
Oh, okay. Well,
Okay, but I don't see anything happening for kids here or young people. All Anderson County is booming with work. Knox County is booming with work. And Oak Ridge is booming with work. All the way down is booming. Mr. Powers is trying. Mr. Fannin, I don't know. It's his first go around. But I don't understand why that we can't. You got buildings or else they everywhere empty. And why can't Mr. Fannin or Mr. Powers go and try to get some help to bring to Campbell County instead of shipping it to Anderson and Knox County? Mr. Powers is trying, I'm sure he is. But Bob Fannin he's a drug dealer. He has got a pharmacist, and he's a pharmacist. The only thing that I see that Mr. Fannin is doing is trying to get people to health care, and that's great. Insurance, Medicare, Medicaid, and everything. Who is it helping? Nobody but Mr. Fannin, because he's trying to get people the health care. And don't get me wrong, he's doing a great job. But who is it helping?
Well, listen, I want one of the things that you said, I want to clear it up. Mr. Fannin, folks, he's not an illegal drug dealer. He is.
No, he's not. No, I didn't mean it.
Yeah, you just said he's a drug dealer, but no, he's not an illegal.
I'm sorry for saying that. He is a pharmacist, and he deals in Medicare, Medicaid, and he provides people with the Medicare, insurance, and the Medicare and Medicaid, and the medicine. I'm sorry for saying that.
Ain't no problem.
But who is it helping? Who is it helping?
Well, now let me just try to appease you a little bit about
Go ahead.
about Mr. Fannin. Mr. Fannin is not saying that I'm out here trying to sell, because you can go anywhere and buy your prescription drugs. What he's saying is that we've got people that don't have insurance, and if they don't have insurance, then they are more likely to die than somebody. I'll tell you one story for sure. The guy that I call brother so much, and I have two of those people. One of them has got killed in Vietnam, and well, actually had three. But the other one was, he actually died because he chose to die because he said, I will not spend every dime I have, me and my house and all that, and leave my wife with nothing. And so whenever his insurance ran out to where he couldn't afford, because his treatments was like $10,000 every 3 months, and he said, I'm not going to continue to get my medicine, because I'm not leaving my wife completely with nothing. And so he chose to die. And now he was a full-blooded Democrat, but Bredesen, because he's the one that changed the insurance around, and you had to send all your, get your medicine by mail and all this and that, and he chose, I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to spend, and he went ahead and died at 68 years old. And so anyway, what Bob is, and the way I understand, and he's saying, if you'll listen to him, he said, the governor wants to insure Tennessee so everybody has insurance one way or another, and it's better to do that than it is to let so many people not have insurance, because somebody has to pay for it. And
It's true, R.L. That's exactly what you're saying is true. But every time that I can hear that the state representative, Dennis Powers, or Bob Fannin, Dennis is maybe trying to get jobs in here. Is Bob Fannin trying to get jobs?
now, let me tell you.
Absolutely not.
Let me tell you about jobs.
Okay.
Because I was a county commissioner one time. Okay? Now you take Campbell County and you take Scott County. And right now, nationally, we have our unemployment rate is only 5%. I don't know what it is here in Campbell County. But here's the problem with Campbell County and the surrounding county, even Anderson County, but the people that wants to work, even in Scott County and Campbell County, that can pass the drug test.
Exactly.
They go and they get jobs and they work. And so if you build a factory, Takahata, you know what I'm talking about?
Yes.
They, in Scott County, this is about 2 years ago, they wanted to hire 20 people. And they called my show and to have me to announce or advertise it with them that they needed 20 people. Well, they start them out almost $10 an hour, 9 something. Well, anyway, they couldn't even get, because they drug test, they could not get 20 applicants. They could not get 20 applicants now. And people saying, boy, there's no work, there's no work, there's no work. And so finally, when they got 10, they said, okay, don't advertise it anymore because we got 10 applicants. They interviewed those 10 applicants, only 2 of them that passed the drug test.
Exactly. All right.
And
you can't hire, you can't beg, borrow, or steal, no help.
And out of those,
unless if they take the drug test, they will fail.
and out of those 2 that were hired that passed the drug test, one of them didn't make it through the first week. They quit. They didn't like the second.
That's right. But let me talk a minute.
Okay.
Okay, coming back to the job situation, what is the state representative for? Is he trying to get work here in Campbell County or not?
Well, I'll tell you what a state representative can do.
Can he do what?
He can, if whenever there's jobs that there's learning that they're coming into Tennessee, like I guess Volkswagen down in Chattanooga, they're going to have parts everywhere. So state representative knows all about that, and they are supposed to let their mayor and your county commission, because the state representative can't bring anything in here unless they get approval, okay?
They go to the county courts.
Yeah, they gotta go.
The commission.
Right, and so.
Yeah, back Bob Bannon, Bob Bannon can push, the people from the Campbell County Court. Listen, we've got to do something. We've got empty buildings sitting here. And can we appropriate a road factory here? It's up to you guys. I've done all I can do. Mr. Bannon, please, help these kids instead of talking about your health insurance. The people do need health insurance. But why do you have to cram it down people's throats? Why can't you help get the jobs in here instead of trying to help yourself?
That's what I'm trying to tell you, sir. The jobs won't come here unless they know that they can hire people that will come and work and go. Now, the mayor of Scott County 2 years ago, in the election 2 years ago, just before the election, I called him and I said, Jeff, how did Taco Bell hire 40 people last week? Because they just opened up. It's their first week. And it was
Scott County, right?
Huh?
In Scott County?
Yes. And I said, how did they actually get 40 people ready to go to work in a week or 2 weeks? You know what he said?
No.
They don't drug test.
Okay, I understand that.
So whenever you
Really understand that.
When you, and see, I was in some of that business of working with contractors, with the job.
I know you were.
And so anyway, you go into places and you look at what's their attendance records in their schools. What is the drug issue in the county? You'll see how many arrests has been made. And there's just a lot of things that you look. One of the big things that you won't believe, but attendance. Whenever somebody's going to come in and start something, if I look at your school road and you've got only 80% people being present, and I got 20% absentees, I'm not going to put a plan in there, not at all, because.
No, you're not. You can't do that. You can't do that,
So,
RF. I'm getting a little off track here.
Okay.
But every time Bob Bannon comes on your show, I appreciate your show. I watch it all the time. And Bob Bannon, every time he comes on your show, it's healthcare.
Insure Tennessee.
I'll let me talk, RF.
Okay.
It's healthcare. It's healthcare. That's all he thinks about is healthcare. Why don't he say, listen, I'm trying to get jobs in here for the younger people. I'm trying my best. I'm trying to go to the court. I'm trying to go to Nashville to get some jobs in. These buildings is sitting empty for months and months, years, 2 years, 3 years. I know it.
Right.
But why can't he try to go to the court and go to Nashville and get state representative, healthcare. That's all it says, healthcare. Who is that money going to? Bob Bannon. Okay, let me.
No, not necessarily. He'll explain it. He's going to be on in.
I mean, you know what I'm saying is, that's all it says, healthcare. But he's not saying anything about the job.
Yeah, that's a good, and believe me, that's a good question. You need to ask him and he'll be on there in about 35 minutes.
Okay, let me get back down to another deal here.
Okay.
You got the city, the elections coming up.
Uh-huh.
You got the city. You got Bob Fannon's gonna run. Great job he's doing. Great job he's doing. Hope he blows them away and stays there. Okay, you got another running. Wilson.
Uh-huh.
You got Hansford Hatmaker. He was convicted of some kind of narcotics deal. You can drug test Mr. Hatmaker 7 days a week, 24 hours a day, and I will guarantee that you'll not find anything in his system. Hansford is a great guy. He's on there on the city council. You got a guy coming up, Mr. Wilson. He was worked for the fire department. He got dismissed. What for? Narcotics, drugs. He couldn't pass the drug test. Okay, went to Oak Ridge. He went to work. He couldn't work there. He worked and worked and worked and got slimmer, lower, couldn't work, couldn't show up because he was drugged out. He was on them fields. And do you think that he can be a city councilman?
Well, let me say this.
No way, shape, form, or fashion.
Well, I just want to put a disclaimer out there because, you know, I don't actually check my calls or anything. It's dry.
True.
And so now I've got a disclaimer that shows, you know, this, and the reason I've been able to do this thing almost 24 years is because I do let people have their say and deal with the other people if there's a problem. And now I don't know Mr. Wilson at all. I wouldn't even know him if I seen him. But you know, I would say this: if Mr. Wilson, if he won and they had a drug policy at the city, then he would have to take that test if they have the policy. And if he is on drugs, he wouldn't be allowed to serve.
It's a little bit late to bring it up, I'm sure, but all you got to do is go back and see it. The Oak Ridge job, he was fired from Oak Ridge for stealing and on drugs.
Oh yeah.
So I'm opening another can of worms. You have a great night. I'm still listening.
Okay, appreciate your call.
All right.
Okay. Oh me, well, all I can say to Mr. Wilson, you know, my show has been, and he absolutely caught me off guard, but those things can be checked out, and if they're true, then it could be a problem. But if they're not true, and even, you know, all of us is down through our life at one time or another has made mistakes, and we've been able to correct those mistakes. So, you're on the air.
How long did you say you've been doing this show?
I've been doing the show here in Campbell County. This April will be 14 years. In Scott County, in April, it'll be 24 years.
Let me make myself very clear. You've been doing this long enough. You ought to know. I'm going to listen to you. You ought to know that guy something was wrong with him. What's wrong with you, Oriel? Have a good night. I'll listen to you now.
Okay, thank you. No, I don't. I can't say I detected anything wrong with the man. I understand the man had some issues with different candidates, and I mean, no, as a candidate, I've been a candidate before, and Lord, you wouldn't believe what I went through, and I got beat my second time around, and I thought I was doing a great job, but a lot of people thought I was doing a great job too, and every time I turned around, they were doing something and jumping onto my family, my wife, me, and everything else, and telling things that God knows weren't true. But sometimes, if you're a candidate, you've got to be You gotta be tough and just keep going, because people's going to jump on you one way or another. You're on the air.
Mr. Gibson,
Yes, ma'am.
I'm not going to berate you, first of all, but I know Amanda Salmon's trial is coming up tomorrow, and I just thought because of she's made so many enemies in this county that it would be held somewhere else. Do you know if it's going to be held here? And, you know, if you don't, maybe somebody else could call in that knows.
Well,
I'll let you comment.
okay, thank you. Now, I truly, I don't know what, but I would say because the two major charges against Miss Salmons was dropped, and the two things that's going forward are minor charges, I would say that it probably needs to be held in Campbell County for one simple reason. If whatever the verdict comes down, and if she gets to work, she has to come back in Campbell County and work. And you know, you've not heard anything from her or her complaining or anything, and she's got to build a relationship with the people again. And what she did, she made a mistake, and she tried to cover it up by saying that she thought it was someone else, and they've evidently proven that there's something to a couple of things that she did wrong. But I think that by the end of the year, she'll actually be back doing her job here in Campbell County. And I think it's good that she would be tried in Campbell County, not somewhere, so that they can see that, hey, I stood up, I took my justice, and I went on my way, and I'm not made a big fuss or anything. So let's just get back and get to doing the job. I'll be back out of these words from my sponsors. Yeah.
Watching these commercials all year, you've seen me on the RL show, I think it's going to be 5 or 6 times now. It's time to give me a call. I help people who have questions about Medicare coverage. That could include Medicare Advantage plans, that could be a Medicare supplement, might be a special needs plan for somebody that has Medicare and TennCare, or it could just be a standalone prescription drug plan. It's the time of year, annual election period, right now to do that. You have through December 7th to review and make changes for next year, and I'm available to help you consider and review any plans that are available. Please call me, 865-691-5571.
Riggs Drugs has been a part of Campbell County for generation after generation, serving our friends and neighbors. And now we have redesigned our store to better serve you. It's the same knowledgeable and friendly staff, but a new look and new technology to ensure you get your prescriptions fast. We've always got you covered from prescriptions to all your home health needs. We've always been more than a pharmacy, still offering a huge selection of gifts and decor. Here at the new and improved Riggs Drugs.
Hi, my name is Jeremy Pierce. I may not be Jake from State Farm, but I do wear khakis. I've been here with Linda Kilgore's office for 2 years. I enjoy helping people make a decision regarding their insurance based on their needs and wants. I'm fully licensed. I enjoy selling auto, home, and life insurance. So feel free to come in or call in anytime, and I'll be glad to help you.
I tell you what, with these 4 machines, we've covered all the bases. We've got a party barge, a mud beast, a couple of nasty ATVs for guys who just love to get dirty. Like the Razor High Lifter Edition, this machine is built for the mud. Basically, it's a water buffalo. It will take you through the mud and brush like you wouldn't believe.
Look Located next door to Value Mart Furniture and Appliance, come out and see Dennis and Will for all your hunting and fishing needs today. We have a great selection of Walther P22, Smith & Wesson, Remington, and 6 Hour, just to name a few of our top line selections. We carry a full selection of ammunition and knives. Tennessee Outdoors is also your local Husqvarna power equipment dealer. We're also the local Smoky Mountain Water distributor. We rent water coolers and offer home or office delivery. And don't forget, we also carry a full line of Rug Doctor carpet and upholstery cleaners for rental. Most major credit cards accepted. Financing and layaway is available. Tennessee Outdoors in Huntsville, Tennessee.
Insure Tennessee means 328,000 working families, including 69,000 veterans, will have affordable insurance. Insure Tennessee will create 40 to 60,000 new jobs. Bob Fannin understands this is not a Republican or a Democratic issue. It's a life or death issue. Bob Fannin and Governor Haslam planning to insure Tennessee.
This is Bob Fannin, candidate for state representative, and I approve this message.
Okay, folks, again, Ron's Golf Cart and Indoor Flea Market. Hey, he's open until 8 o'clock, Fridays and Saturdays, nights until Christmas. So he's got the rain jackets, the Ugg boots, he's got, hey, folks, you just have to go in purses and all that stuff. He's just really waiting on you. You're on the air.
Yeah, I was the first one called, and this gentleman called back and asked me what was wrong with me. No, I'm a little bit hoarse, but I can take a drug test 724 if he would like to go to the hospital and check my record there. So I'm just a little hoarse, but we find out the facts, and no, there's nothing wrong with me at all. I'm not just a little hoarse is all, and thank you for calling, and I'll call you back.
Okay, thank you. Bye-bye. Okay. You know, something happened here Saturday and tonight that I know it's some of you people that don't bother and some it does. But there's a mountain dividing Campbell County between Jellicoe and La Follette. See, Campbell County was in the news big time last Thursday and Friday because trick-or-treating was done on the south end of Campbell County Saturday night. Jellicoe is doing theirs tonight. It's a county divided. It's bad. It's not a good thing. And how your county commission can declare that, I don't know. You're on the air. Go ahead, you're on the air. Okay, call me back, or if you've dropped it, your line or something, I don't know. I did see your name, and I won't mention it though. So anyway, give me a call back, and but you know, when you start dividing your county, and you can see the division. Your property assessor got very few votes, or didn't win, let's just say, didn't win the election, was way behind. But when he went across the mountain, he almost got every vote. That's the same way with your, I believe it's your county court clerk. The same thing. Can't win on this side, but win on that side. And it wasn't, but about 4 or 5 years ago, maybe because time flies by so fast, at one time, Scott County, I mean, I'm talking about not in the too distant time back. The people above Oneida wanted their own government. And the people on the south end wanted their own. I had a county commissioner tell me, I wish they would put a fence around Oneida and charge you $10 to get in. Now, the guy asked about jobs, about when you got that kind of division and that kind of fighting with each other, you can't prosper. You just can't. Now, there's been several jobs that come into Scott County, and especially up in the Winfield area, and leave. And the reason why they went into Winfield was because they could pull from Kentucky and the upper part of the county. But they had so many problems with different things, they just pulled out and left. That's what people do, they just pull out. Now, up here on 141, the human resource manager, again, is a good friend of mine, a very good friend, and they can't keep enough people to work up there. Have you ever went up there to put in an application? Folks, it's just 6 miles up the road or 7, and if you go down here at Eagle Bluff and take that road up the mountain, it's probably not more than 2 miles. 3 miles at the absolute max. And then there's good roads all the way up. They cannot keep employees up there. You're on the air. You're on the air. Huh. Are you still there? Now call me back. I'll try to get to it just as soon as it rings. It shows up on the phone. Because I just got another 15 minutes and you're going to have to put up with Bob Fannin for an hour. You're on the air.
Yeah, I was calling to see how your son was doing.
Oh, my son went today for the evaluation to where he could start taking therapy, and he starts taking therapy tomorrow, but they said it could be a year-long therapy. But outside of that, his outlook is pretty good, but he still hurts a lot, okay? And I appreciate,
thank you, Betty.
Thank you. Yeah, he's looking forward to where he can get out of bed. He got his prosthetic, I guess it was Thursday. He got his prosthetic Thursday. Now he's going to have to learn how to use it. And then the other leg is, his left leg is going to give him a whole lot more trouble than that right leg where they actually took it off. But now the other one is broken into the kneecap and the bones, the big bones in the shin was totally broke. It's sticking out of the skin and just above the knee. So he had to, I believe it's 6 breaks in that left leg, and so he just got a long way to go, and he's got some other small detail things that has to be done, but if he ever gets well enough where he can walk or something, if I can talk him into it, I'll get him to come over, because God, you just don't know how much we all appreciate people calling and asking about him. We just you don't realize how much, because he went through more than most people could ever stand. And it was, it was Thursday, was exactly 4 months, and he hadn't been able to stand in 4 months. And Thursday he got to stand probably minute, 2 minutes at the absolute most, and he hadn't been able to stand since. But it's coming. It really is, and I appreciate that. But anyway, talk to you about anything you want to talk about. But our election is just what 8 days from today. We'll probably know who's going to be our president, and we'll know who's going to be our state representatives and our aldermen. You're on the air. Go ahead, you're on the air. Huh. I don't know why they're doing that. They're coming up and it's showing their name, or it was, and they're not answering. I don't know. I am sorry. Try again. We'll see if what's going on. I don't know what's going on. But I know that there's some people out there thinks that, you know, because of this last thing, we haven't seen the last of stuff that's going to come out probably on both of the. You're on the air.
Yeah, Ariel, I don't know if you've ever been asked this or not, but there's a lot of people around here, they think that, you know, that Dolly Parton that she doesn't have a husband. But I heard her say on TV that she does have a husband. Everybody says, well, have you ever seen him? No, I've not seen him, but, you know, I took her at her word that she has one.
She's been married a long time, and I've seen her husband.
50-something years, though.
Yeah, I've seen her husband several times, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, and you know what?
I talked to a guy that did say that he met him, and he said he worked some for Dolly, so.
Yeah, he's for a while there, he had his own business, she had her own, but I heard her talking not long ago and saying her favorite thing was to do with that they got a big bus camper, you know, probably a $2 or $3 million camper or bus, and said that they love to go and go on in the campgrounds and just set up and try to be just be themselves and enjoy just like other people do and try to act natural. And she said that the people works with them so much when they tell, but then when they have their little sing-arounds or whatever, you know, in campgrounds or they go to church or whatever, said we're right in the middle of it.
Yeah, I always do. I have disbelief that, you know, I always believe there's such a husband, but you don't know his name and don't guess, do you?
No, I don't.
Yeah. People tell me when I say, well, have you ever seen him? I said, no, I'm not.
Yeah, I've seen him on TV, and I've seen him on TV several times.
Yeah.
But yeah, and I've heard her talk about it, but I don't know. Her world's way away from mine for trying to deal with what she deals with.
Yeah, she's I heard he's just like a simple person. He didn't like.
Yeah, that's what she says. A very simple person. But they've been married over 50 years.
That's what I heard her say.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. I didn't think there was no truth to that.
Yeah. Anything else going on around here that you want to talk about?
Well, you say the election, Amanda Salmon in her court tomorrow, you say?
Yes.
Is everybody invited to go, or is that just certain people?
No, I won't go, and I'm sure you could probably go and sit in the courtroom.
Yeah.
But I don't know what time or anything. But, you know,
everybody I've talked to is saying they hope she don't get back, they don't put her back, you know, so I don't know. I think Joe Ayers is a darn good judge myself.
Yeah.
I ain't got nothing personal against him.
Oh, I don't know Joe, or I don't know Amanda, and so I don't have any dog in that fight.
Yeah, he's it's more reasonable, you know.
Yeah.
And it don't matter who you put in there, they ain't gonna please the whole, you know.
No, they're not gonna please everybody.
No.
If they think they can please everybody, they're not doing their job.
Yeah, but you know, there's I guess a lawsuit against it, and I don't know if that's what they're going to talk about tomorrow or not. From Kathy Turek, I understand about them kids being placed in the home of the dead or something, and I don't know how it'll turn out. Or I guess the judge is ordering Kentucky for them not to be around their kids, you know, the daddy.
Yeah.
And I don't know how that's going to turn out.
Yeah. It's impossible to really know what's going on in the court and how things are going to go anymore. It really is.
Yeah, that's true. Where's the big boy at tonight? He ain't been calling in that libertarian guy. Tell him to call in regularly if...
Oh, okay. You're talking about Hazel Valley.
Yeah.
Hazel Valley, I think he's a little bit upset at me or something.
Yeah.
And
call in and start talking. You're going to invite Chris Christie down to his house. He won't have buy his supper, you know that.
Yeah.
When he get Chris Christie down here at a big supper somewhere, they say he won't go unless he got a big supper waiting. I was just joking about that part.
Okay, no problem.
They could have a little fun, don't you?
Yeah, that's exactly right.
Yeah.
I appreciate you. I appreciate your call. Thank you. But I don't know about you all, but I've never wanted to see an election get over any more than I want to see this. I can't wait till next Monday, not tomorrow. Not next month, next Tuesday, not tomorrow, but the next one, and see, get the election over with. Basically, if they find something that disqualifies Hillary, then I think they just should disqualify both of them, call off the election. Hey, that might be what Obama's trying to do. Is if you get both of them to where they're disqualified, then maybe he gets to serve another term. I'm just kidding, folks. But things is crazy. I've never seen anything more crazier than this. Now, today, and then Bob can touch on this, today I was not necessarily questioned about it. There's someone that said that they did not think it's right for someone to be able to serve in two offices at one time. Now, I see state representative and alderman in your town. Now, your alderman, your town could have it in the charter that it's not right or can't do it. Wait just a minute, I gotta write this down. Okay, and you're on the air.
Hey, big guy, down here using my name in vain.
Yeah.
What's happening?
Well, this person said that you wouldn't go to any of these rallies unless they had a big supper. And they was going to invite Chris Christie down, and you would go to his rally.
Who, Chris Christie?
Yeah.
What we got in common with that big feller?
I don't know.
I don't believe me and Christie.
Well, did you see on the computer, I guess it was in Google, that Chris Christie is kind of upset at Donald Trump because Donald Trump, when Chris fell out, that Donald Trump told him, if you'll come over and help me get this nomination, I'll name you my vice president. So I think Chris Christie is upset at Donald Trump now.
My understanding is he offered it to him and then took it back.
Yeah.
You can be my vice president. No, I take it back. You can't be my vice president.
That's just, I don't understand. And you know that Johnson, I can't believe what happened to him. Did you see what happened? Johnson, your libertarian presidential candidate.
Yeah, I gotta go down and vote for Hillary here.
Yeah, because you owe me that.
I owe you a vote, don't I?
Yes, you do.
You're going with me, ain't you? So you can stand there and watch which button I push.
I won't do you that way.
What?
Because I wouldn't want you to go home and it would probably make you sick if you had to vote for Hillary, wouldn't it?
Wow, Lord, no. Hey, I got to hear, I think you were better than Merle Haggard on that swinging doors.
When did you get to hear it?
Hey, you're still voting for Bob, ain't you?
If I could, I would.
He's a good one.
I think so.
Anyway, what is this thing? My standard is tonight, they're having a thing down at City Hall. Bob, is he gonna be on your show tonight?
He's already here to come on just as soon as I walk off the,
Would you ask him if they're down there voting on spending money to build a, paved parking area for the senior center?
well, he'll be on here just in a few minutes.
Will you ask him about that? Because, you know, they just got a big out-of-court settlement against, Jim Slusher's, estate. You know, Jim died, his widow settled out of court, and they got a big bunch of money, plus they're spending $1,000, according to their spreadsheet, they're spending $1,000 every 2-3 months to Dave Dunaway, so they spent about $4,000 on him this year. And why are we having to pay for them paving their parking lot when they've got all this money?
I have
But they wanna keep their money and spend theirs a second time.
Where's that money, is it coming through the county or through the city?
City was gonna, agree, I think, to pay half of it.
I don't have any idea, and that's the truth.
Dutch, I think, was gonna get half from the county. And if we live in a city, like me, then I pay twice as much as what somebody does in the county.
Yeah.
So I have to pay city and county taxes.
Oh, okay.
I just can't believe they would even consider for 1 minute putting up money to pave a parking lot when they just got this big settlement, the senior center did, from Jim Slusher's widow.
Huh.
Why can't they spend their own money on that paving that parking lot?
But I'm not going to get involved in that. I don't got involved.
Yes, Bob, what happened to her tonight? You know, hopefully
I'll ask him, was there a vote on?
Yeah, he's a man of good sense and reason.
Yeah, but he's hearing what you are saying, I'm pretty sure. So.
Okay. Well, buddy, it's good to have you on the show. You gonna be here till 10 tonight, or you leave?
No, I'm leaving right now. I'll be leaving at 9 o'clock from now till the time. At least the time changes next spring.
Okay, well I'm going.
And remember, this Saturday night at 2 o'clock, you got to fall back 1 hour. Go back from 2 to 1.
When is that?
That's this Saturday night.
Oh, okay. Well, I didn't change my clocks last year. I doubt if I will this year.
You'll just keep.
That's government fiction.
Okay. I'll talk to you later. We're going to go to break, and you all stay tuned for Bob Fannin.
How's your son doing?
He's doing better.
Good. Just tell him, keep it up.
They told him today that it's possible that he would be in therapy for a year.
Okay,
We'll see.
I'm gonna go vote away from the barn, ain't you? You're invited to go with me.
I've done voted, so.
Hey folks, it's Mark Beckman with Independent Insurance Consultants. You know, I've been helping folks here in Campbell County for 8 years, and I do this year round. I don't just do it at special times of the year when I don't have anything else to do. You're going to get a lot of phone calls and see a lot of advertisements from people outside of the area that aren't here year round. I suggest that you pick a local insurance agent or someone who spends a good amount of time in the area and that will always return your phone call. That's me, and we've got some other ones too, but if you'd like to talk with me, I'd be proud to talk to you. My phone number is 866-691-5571.
Riggs Drugs has been a part of Campbell County for generation after generation, serving our friends and neighbors. And now we have redesigned our store to better serve you. It's the same knowledgeable and friendly staff, but a new look and new technology to ensure you get your prescriptions fast. We've always got you covered from prescriptions to all your home health needs. We've always been more than a pharmacy, still offering a huge selection of gifts and decor. Here at the new and improved Riggs Drugs.
Hi, I'm Linda Kilgore. This is my 35th year with State Farm, my 25th year here in Campbell County. I'm not a high-pressure salesman. I like to just sit down with my customers and help them decide what's right for them. Thank you, and I hope to see you soon.
I tell you what, with these 4 machines, we've covered all the bases. We've got a party barge, a mud beast, a couple of nasty ATVs for guys who just love to get dirty. Like the Razor High Lifter Edition, this machine is built for the mud. Basically, it's a water buffalo. It will take you through the mud and brush like you wouldn't believe.
Fall's around the corner, and so is your Husqvarna dealer. Husqvarna is known for high-performing, durable, and innovative products. So is it any wonder why your Husqvarna dealer is the best in the business at what they do? Providing products, maintenance, parts, and accessories whenever and wherever you need them. With a nationwide network of dealers, you don't have to go far. Visit Husqvarna.com to find a dealer or retailer near you.
280,000 Tennesseans can't get access to health coverage. This includes 24,000 veterans. We call this the coverage gap. So who gets access to health coverage and who is in the gap? TennCare is available for Tennesseans who have a very low income and who also fall into one of these categories: children under 19 years old and their parents, pregnant women, women with breast or cervical cancer, and some people with severe disabilities. Healthcare.gov coverage is available to Tennesseans who are above the poverty line. Everyone else is in the gap. Like a small business owner just starting his business, or perhaps a young woman just out of college, working an internship and waiting tables part-time. Without access to health coverage, those in the gap can't get preventive care, regular screenings, or even life-saving surgeries. What is the solution? Governor Haslam has a plan called Insure Tennessee. Any Tennessean who is a U.S. citizen and in the gap will be eligible for health coverage. The governor's program is a way to bring $1.77 billion of our federal tax dollars back to Tennessee. It's not a new tax. This money has already been set aside for the governor's program. Tennessee hospitals have agreed to pick up any costs not covered by the federal government, and the program can be canceled at any time. Insure Tennessee will never cost the state a dime. What happens if we don't put this program into effect? Hospitals will have higher rates of uncompensated care, and the cost of that care will be paid for by those who do have health insurance or by Tennessee businesses who provide insurance for their employees. About 40 hospitals are expected to close. Tennessee will lose about 20,000 jobs. But what happens when we do accept this money? 280,000 Tennesseans will have access to health coverage. The rate of uncompensated care will go down drastically, relieving the financial burden on hospitals and those with insurance. Hospitals will stay open, and those who work in those hospitals will keep their jobs. 15,000 new jobs will be created. With Governor Haslam's program, all Tennesseans in the Gap will have access to basic health coverage. We are already paying into this program with our federal taxes, but our legislators must approve Insure Tennessee before we can put it into action. Share this video and click here to see what you can do to close the gap.
Hello, how are you doing tonight? Happy Halloween. My name is Bob Fannin. I'm a pharmacist at Riggs Drug Store, and I'm running for state representative. As you saw on the little commercial about the coverage gap, where my opponent and I disagree, I will name the 4 or 5 things that we disagree mainly on, and then I'll take some calls. Insure Tennessee. Insure Tennessee will insure 280 to 328,000 working families. 69,000 veterans will insure that through fell through the gap. Create anywhere from 40 to 60,000 new jobs. 14,000 people in the last 4 years has already been documented have died because they had no insurance. And as you saw on the little commercial, it doesn't cost us a dime. The money, $1.77 billion for the last 6 years, has already been provided on taxes that we already have paid. And we have refused to take that money back from the federal government. It doesn't make any sense to me. My opponent opposes this. This is not a Republican or Democrat issue. This is a life and death issue. And this is one of the most important things that we're voting for this year on the state side, and nobody seems to want to talk about it. Now, there's a lot of Republicans and a lot of Democrats who support Governor Haslam's Insure Tennessee, and I'm one of those. And it's going to do so much for this state. The second thing is, my opponent, let me get back to Insure Tennessee, my opponent in one of his ads said he was for saving the rural hospitals. Now, Scott County's already closed, Jellicoe's in bad shape, and we don't know how La Follette may be. But Insure Tennessee would bring all this back, plus many jobs. Just think about all the people who lost their jobs at Scott County, who's been laid off not only at Jellicoe, but at La Follette, at Tenova and La Follette. This would bring those jobs back because the hospitals wouldn't do indigent care. Most of the people would now have insurance. Dennis Powers opposes it. I have the solution. Powers, just vote for Insure Tennessee, and that would close all the gaps up, and we would almost have a 92% rate of people insured in the state of Tennessee. The second thing that Dennis and I do not agree with is teachers. Our teachers in Campbell and Anderson and Union County, they're underpaid. They're working in overcrowded classrooms. They're still paying for supplies out of their own pocket. I am for the educators. Mr. Powers voted to break up their union and do away with their tenure. I also want to bring, in every county in the state of Tennessee should have a driver's license center. The nearest place we can go to get a driver's license right now is Oak Ridge. It has been moved to Oak Ridge. I'm for having every county have at least one driver's license centers, and some counties, larger counties, 2 or 3. We had a $1.23 billion surplus, so maybe this is just not about driver's license. Maybe this is also about voter ID. They want to keep the votes lower. The lower the vote, the incumbent usually stays in. I'm also for the state workers. In the last 10 years, I've looked, and except for this year, because most of the seats throughout Tennessee are contested, they gave them a pretty good raise this year. But for the last 9 years, they've given them anything from 0 to 1%. That's all. Not even a cost of living raise. if I'm elected, I will push for at least a cost of living raise each and every year. My opponent voted to do away with their longevity pay. That means if you worked for 20 years on your anniversary date, the day you was hired in, you would receive $2,000, $100 per year. And Mr. Powers voted to do away with that. I would not. I would try to get a cost of living raise each and every year and make sure the longevity pay stays in place. Roads, bridges, our infrastructure, state parks, our infrastructure is falling apart. With no new taxes, we can build new roads, build new bridges. Continue, we have 5 parks in the 36th district alone. Mr. Powers closed Jellicoe's Park. It would be reopened under me. We would reopen it. We would give the funds to Cove Lake, Big Ridge, and the 2 North parks to keep them updated and keep the upkeep and keep them clean. Right now, I've talked to several rangers down there, and they're telling me that they just don't have enough money even to mow. A month and a half ago, we had 3,000 to 4,000 runners, children, that was invited to come to Cove Lake to run cross country. Parents was parking all the way to Shoney's to come up to. It was several counties involved, all the way from Shoney's to walk up to Cove Lake. But the grass was about 6 to 7 inches high. That was, and we knew 6 months ago this was going to happen, but they just don't have the money to mow when they need to. This is unacceptable, and that's right. Why these are the 5 reasons I'm running for state representative. It's life and death and just common sense. I'll take any calls from you right now. I've just come from a city council workshop. I'm also running for re-election for my city council seat. MTAS had encouraged me to run for both offices. My opponent says I'm running for both offices. I have the time to do this, so one won't interfere with the other. The Dossett Lane Bridge project was voted on, and it's going to go forward. I was the only councilman when it first brought up in June. Mr. Powers brought it to us and say he'd get us a 2% contract on this. So it's usually 80-20, but he would get us a grant at 2%, which means $28,000 for the county, $28,000 for the city. And a couple of weeks ago in the Jellicoe Journal, he was interviewed by Mr. Savinsky, and he said that I was playing football with this, funny games like football and stuff like that, because I was bringing it up that he hasn't come through with the grant yet. I mean, he hadn't come through with the 2% grant. As of tonight, he has still not come up with a 2% grant. It's still going to be right around $200,000 to $280,000 for the city and the county put together. And since the commissioners voted for it and the majority of the councilmen voted for it, the project is on go. But he still hasn't. And in the Journal 2 weeks ago, he stated he could get this to $5,700 each. And he didn't show up at the meeting tonight because he can't do it. I would applaud him if he could keep his word on this, but it's just $5,700 to $28,000 each is a far cry from $280,000 each to build a bridge just to go to the helicopter pad. And I thought that was too much. That's the reason I abstained and passed on that vote. And I would have voted for it if he would got the funding first. We did put the horse before the carriage, I think, or the carriage before the horse. And Right now, we're still paying, as of tonight, around 200 to 280,000, both for the county and the city. Both is putting that in. That comes up to about $580,000, unless Mr. Powers comes through with what he said in the Jellicoe paper a couple of weeks ago to get it down to $5,700. The election is just 8 days away, and I don't see that happening in 8 days. So there's a lot of reasons to vote for me against Mr. Powers. This is, again, is not about Democrats, Republicans. This is just about life and death, right and wrong. And Mr. Powers just don't see the common sense in it. I sometimes I just don't think he gets it. I can't see. In the interview with the Journal a couple of weeks ago, when he said he would bring this grant down to $5,700, he said if just one life was saved, just one life, it would be worth it. Well, Dennis, 14,000 lives have been lost in over the last 4 years because you didn't pass Insure Tennessee. That's irresponsible. I want to say that it's close to being homicide, but it doesn't cost a dime. Tennesseans are not paying 1 penny extra. It's already been negotiated by our governor, who supported you, so why can't you support him on this? Governor Haslam, unlike with the expanded Medicaid, he went to Washington and cut a deal, one of the best deals I've seen. If for any time, if any of these things change, we can opt out within a 30-day period. And the second thing, if it costs the Tennesseans, the state of Tennessee, 1 penny, the Hospital Association throughout the state of Tennessee is going to pick up that money. So Tennessee is not out 1 dime. And I just don't understand how we can make such a great deal and pass this up. I mean, everyone out there knows someone who doesn't have insurance. As a pharmacist, I see it 30, 40, 70 times a day that doesn't have insurance. They're working. It's not like it's going to be given to them as free. I mean, it's going to be free. This is an insurance where you pay a small premium and everything. And it'd make the world of difference to the working poor. People making less than $28,500, $28,400, right around in that area. A family of 4, their insurance would be paid for. And they wouldn't have to worry about that particular, one less thing to worry about. But I just got to get you guys out to vote. He is banking, Mr. Powers is banking on you all don't vote. And you never will, never have. Let's prove him wrong. Let's get together. We've got 8 days. We still got early voting up till Thursday night. And then we got the election next Tuesday week. So let's prove him wrong. Let's get to the polls. I read where almost 7,000 people has already voted early. Let's break the record in Campbell County. Let's break the record in Union and Anderson County. Let's get out and vote for what's right. This is not about politics. This is what's just about right and wrong. Using common sense throughout what we do each and every day in our households. Why can't we apply that to state, county, and local government? Why can't we just apply that? I've been doing this for 16 years at the city. I stay out of these little tiffs and these little arguments most of the time. I try to stay out of this stuff, and I try to present the plans that I have, like apple pie or motherhood. And it's hard to vote against apple pie and motherhood. And in Nashville, I'll do the same thing. I'll make it so simple to them that it'll be apple pie and motherhood. And, you know, it's just hard to vote against apple pie and motherhood. So that's where I'm going to present Insure Tennessee. That's how I'm going to do with the teachers to try to get them. We need to commit to technology in this county. Anderson County has already done it. We need to do it in Union County. Our children, I'll put them on the level of any children in the state. Yet we still rank around 44, 45 out of 50 states, and that's not acceptable. And it's not our teachers. The parents, we need to push for technology. We need to push for smaller classrooms, and we need to push to pay the teachers more money. And if we do all those things together, either on the federal side, the state side, the county side, or even donations from the corporate side, we can achieve these goals that we set out. Now, I don't have all the answers, but we can. Mr. Powers has no answers. I have yet, other than the Dawson Bridge, which he's not come through with the 2% grant yet. I don't know anything else he's done in this county. Somebody call me up and let me know of something he's done other than have his picture made, and I have to give it to him. He would make a much better picture than I would. You know, I'll comb my hair and put my suit on, but he'd make a little bit better picture than I would. But I'd rather do things and make our lives a little bit easier each and every day. And that's what a politician's supposed to do. You're not supposed to hear from us that much. It's just supposed to make your life, each and every one of you, lives a little bit easier each and every day. And that's what it's all about. And if I can do that, I've succeeded. Honeybee, are you back there? I was going to run those commercials one more time. Let me take this one call. You're on the line.
Yeah, Bob, I know one man that died. He was close to 50 years old, and he had 2 children left behind, and he had a bad disease that took him out, and he had no insurance. And I heard of two others right around close here, and my father, the same thing happened to him. And that's sad, you know. We live in a land that God blessed us, you know, even poor people, and we've all been blessed, you know.
Yes.
And I think it'd be good if we just extend a little bit of it on them people that, you know, that's struggling so hard, especially like people with kids, you know, trying to raise them. It takes every dollar you can make to send kids to school. Because I sent two to high school, and it takes every dime you make, you know.
Well, it does, and you know, and it's just common sense that what we do. And again, it's not a political issue; it's a life and death issue. I've got 2 ladies that one would qualify for Insure Tennessee, the other would not. But do you realize that TennCare accepts if you're a lady and you get cervical or breast cancer, you'll be covered under TennCare.
Yeah.
But I've got 2 ladies that come to my store who has bladder cancer. Can you imagine? TennCare doesn't pick that up.
Yeah.
These little things need to be changed. Whoever makes these rules in Nashville, this doesn't make any sense to me. No. If you have brain cancer, it doesn't cover it. I mean, give me a break. You know,
people
in the 1980s, prescriptions, you got 7 prescriptions per month in the 1980s before TennCare was evolved. Yeah. Now, after Governor Bredesen, when he was in there for 8 years, he's cut it back to 5 prescriptions a month. A lot of people can't make it on 5 prescriptions a month.
No.
Now, there's some free ones. I mean, there are some free ones that they have allowed, and your diabetic supplies are free. So that helps some. But that helps some, but it doesn't help enough.
And you have hardcore criminals that, you know, that's really murdered people for no one reason and stuff like that, sitting in prison, they get better health care than the people out here working.
Well, I saw an article the other day that our people in the nursing home we're paying something like $299 a month. The state is on that, but the people in prison we're paying about $850 a month. Now that's shameful.
Yeah, that's true. It is.
I mean, and don't get me wrong. If you're in prison, you need to take what you need to take. But to limit our elderly that are barely making it in the nursing homes and stuff like this, it's not fair. And if you go in the nursing home and you don't have TennCare or Medicaid or some type of gap coverage, Medicare by itself won't pay for it. So you have to give up your home. I've seen people lose their homes. In the La Follette Press 6-8 months ago, when I decided that I was going to run, a gentleman in Clearfield lost his home. He was a proud Tennessean, just like I am, and he lost his home because he worked all his life. He had a heart attack. He lost his job. He lost his insurance, and because of these things and all the bills mounting up because he had no insurance, he lost his home. And you know, most people use their home as their collateral for retirement, and it's shameful that the richest country in the world cannot provide this to our elderly. Hey, and the richest country in the world can't feed our hungry. The richest country in the world can't take care of our sick. Doesn't make any sense to me.
No, it don't. It really don't. And when things is, you got an opportunity to change things, people better wake up and go for it because it don't always come around. You know?
Hey, the battle with Mr. Powers for the election is just the first step. Then you have to go to Nashville and produce, and that's going to be difficult to do also. I mean, I got to allow a big mouth, but other than that, you know, but I will call a spade, and I will, hey, when they are killing people, I'll let them know. I don't care if they're Democrats or Republicans.
That's right.
And I can work with a good idea. I don't care who comes up with it. I don't care if a wigwam comes up with it, a Republican or a Democrat. I can be for anything. I can work across the aisles with anyone. I've proven this for 16 years down there with that crowd down I've worked with downtown. But I can work with this. But I've got to have an opportunity, and then I have to have your all support when I get to Nashville, so I can put heat on certain individuals to vote for certain things. And right now, they're not held accountable. We've got a bunch of people down there who just wants to improve themselves, and they're not held accountable.
Oh yeah, it's proven fact that a lot of the leaders that's in there, and some of them just got in there, they're not out to help them but themselves, you know.
And
that's bad too, you know.
And I'm not for that. I mean, I'm not for that. I'm not here to.
No, I know that.
I'm here to right now help the uninsured, and then I want to help the teachers. I want to build roads. I want to get a driver's license center back in Campbell County. And there's ways to do it. If we don't have enough money, hey, let the state pay the city of La Follette Police Department or this sheriff department a small fraction of the money they would spend on a building and stuff, and let them give driver's license tests, and let them give the driving test, and let's be able to give driver's license out through our cities or something like that. We can come up with solutions to all our problems. We just got to sit down and work it out.
Yeah, it's happened in the past. Like we used to have driver's education in the school for the kids. That was good because they got discount on their insurance when they got ready to drive.
Well, it is, and if you have to drive to Oak Ridge, to get your driver's license right now. I mean, once you drive to Oak Ridge, they ought to automatically hand it to you to do. You shouldn't have to have a driver's test, should you? I mean, if you go from here to Oak Ridge or from here to Sweetwater, that's where one is. The next one is the closest, and you have another one up towards Pigeon Forge. I mean, this is the only three places. If you can drive, our kids can drive us there. They automatically just hand them the driver's license, shouldn't they?
Sure, we don't have to go bad and worse.
No, and I'm just wondering sometimes if it's about the elderly getting IDs so they can vote, and I worry about that also because a person who has to go to Oak Ridge to get an ID, they're not going to do that, and they'll end up not voting.
These older people, in respect, all of them has built this country, and this guy here that Timmy, that almost 50 years old, he's worked and paid taxes, just since he's a young man, and of course he's gone. His family is, the two little girls don't have a daddy around, but it could be prevented,
Sure, it could.
Just it's sad that people can't see further. Have a little bit of compassion beyond their own self,
Well, it's compassionate and being compassionate, and it's also just having some common sense. And also, I just don't think since President Obama came up with this expanded Medicaid program, I believe that a lot of it is they just don't want anything to do with the president, no matter whether it's a good idea or a bad idea. And I don't know if it's a great idea or not a bad idea or anything, but I know it's working in Kentucky, it's working in Ohio, it would work, and it would work here easily.
I got people in Ohio, they vote for their governor because they did that too.
They did.
They have insurance where they work, but they said there were a lot of people that didn't have it, so they like him because he supported that,
Okay. Well, I'm going to get off and go to a break. I appreciate your call, okay?
Be rooting for you.
All right, thank you very much. Honey Bee, will you go to break, please?
Hey y'all, this is Mark Beckman with Independent Insurance Consultants. I come up here every week to Campbell County to try to help people answer questions about Medicare coverage, special needs plans, try to help out with prescription drug plans and getting a good fit. When I sit down with someone, I bring a broad spectrum of insurance products to the table, not just one company. That way I can help folks decide which one works best for them. Did you know that a lot of times I'll meet with a husband and wife and they'll need different plans simply because of their doctor networks or maybe even their medicines? Not everybody needs the same plan. Give me a call. I'll help you figure out which one's best for you. 865-691-5571.
Riggs Drugs has been a part of Campbell County for generation after generation, serving our friends and neighbors. And now we have redesigned our store to better serve you. It's the same knowledgeable and friendly staff, but a new look and new technology to ensure you get your prescriptions fast. We've always got you covered from prescriptions to all your home health needs. We've always been more than a pharmacy, still offering a huge selection of gifts and decor. Here at the new and improved Riggs Drugs.
Hi, I'm Ann Love with Linda Kilgore State Farm Agency. I have worked in the insurance and financial services industry for over 20 years, formerly with the John R.W. Brown Agency. I'm a native Campbell County and enjoy helping people with their insurance needs. Stop by and see me for all your insurance needs.
I tell you what, with these four machines, we've covered all the bases. We've got a party barge, a mud beast, a couple of nasty ATVs for guys who just love to get dirty. Like the Razor High Lifter Edition, this machine is built for the mud. Basically, it's a water buffalo. It will take you through the mud and brush like you wouldn't believe.
Fall's around the corner, and so is your Husqvarna dealer. Husqvarna is known for high-performing, durable, and innovative products. So is it any wonder why your Husqvarna dealer is the best in the business at what they do? Providing products, maintenance, parts, and accessories whenever and wherever you need them. With a nationwide network of dealers, you don't have to go far. Visit Husqvarna.com to find a dealer or retailer near you.
I'm Bob Fannin. I'm a pharmacist, I'm a Christian, and I'm a proud Tennessean. Tennessee has over 300,000 working families that cannot afford health care. Governor Haslam's Insure Tennessee will offer these families affordable health care. My profession and my faith tells me to stand with our governor and fight for health care. That's why I'm asking for your vote for state representative. Welcome back, and again, happy Halloween. Even though we celebrated Halloween on Saturday night, everybody else in the state is celebrating it tonight. So happy Halloween. And I didn't get this in a minute ago. Ron's Golf Cart will be open till 8 o'clock every Friday and Saturday night till Christmas. And RL told me to tell you to go down there. He's got a new shipment of stuff in today, and coats and boots and all kinds of stuff, so make sure you get down there, and they'll be open till 8 o'clock every Friday and Saturday till Christmas. Okay? Again, I'm Bob Fannin. I'm a pharmacist at Riggs Drug Store. Been down there for 42 years, so most of you recognize me. I've been on the city council for 16 years. The difference between myself and Dennis Powers is I'm for Insure Tennessee. He opposes it. Let me take this one call. You're on the line.
Hello, Bob. How are you doing?
I'm fine.
I am all for the Insure Tennessee. I've got two nephews that are in their 30s. They work construction. They both have families, and they're both diabetics. And they just get enough insulin just to try to keep them out of the hospital. Because what do you do between feeding your children, keeping a roof over their head, and all these people that have died because Dennis Powers did not back that? I believe their blood will be required in his hands when he stands before God, because it's common sense. But no, he wants to line his pockets, and when he said something about you doing both offices, you can do both offices because you're not going to be on vacation every other week. And any time that I have ever called his office, never has he ever called me back. Never the first time.
Well, I promise you I always call back, and that's the reason on my cards, I've got my cell phone right there. Now, I may not answer it when you call, but if you leave me a message, I'll get back with you. Because everybody's problem, it may be a small problem statewide, but it's a big problem for you, or you wouldn't be calling me about it. And then I will check into it, see what I can do, and I will return the call back and see what I've done and what you can do to fix your problem, okay? And I promise that I will do that each and every time.
How many weeks have people called and said, okay, somebody call in and tell us what Dennis Powers has done for Campbell County? We've not gotten any calls.
You know, I've been through almost all the county. Well, I have been through almost all the county, almost all Anderson County and Union County. And you know, the two biggest questions I'm asked: who is our state representative now, and who is Dennis Powers? And yet they continue to put him in, but he hasn't really had an opponent since the landslide in 2010, and that wasn't Dennis over the Democratic nominee. It was Bill Haslam went in with 70 or 80% of the vote, and he rode in on his coattail.
He rode in on his coattail.
And this time, even though I saw where the governor on paper endorsed him, you've seen other leaders here with Mr. Powers. You haven't seen the governor in Campbell County or Union County or Anderson County with Mr. Powers. You've not seen a TV ad with a governor with Mr. Powers. I don't think he's going to get involved. I do on this one. I do not think the governor will get involved because he knows what I stand for, the governor does. And we don't see eye to eye on everything, but we do see eye to eye on Insure Tennessee. Just imagine, 40 hospitals are in 2017 are scheduled to close. With Insure Tennessee being passed, it will save all 40 of those hospitals. And some that have closed may reopen. So it's a win-win situation, and it doesn't cost Tennesseans a dime. A dime. It doesn't cost them a dime. The $1.77 billion in tax money that's sent to Tennessee we've already paid it in federal income tax. It's gone to Washington. They're sending $1.77 billion back for this health care, and it won't cost us a dime. And the monies that it does cost the state, the Hospital Association has agreed to pick that monies up. And Governor Haslam cut such a good deal. At any time, if anything changes, we can opt out of it. But if it doesn't, we understand this may be a short-term program. It's important who goes in as president. And this may be a short-term program, but even 1, 2, 3 years would help a whole lot. And they're saying now, their first excuse was they didn't like Obama. And I've talked to many state representatives about this, Democrats and Republicans. They didn't like him. So that's their first excuse. Their second excuse was, well, we may not be able to opt out of it if something goes on. Once you're in a situation, you may not be able to get out of it. We're making it very clear up front, if things change, this program will be dropped, and because the taxpayers couldn't afford it. And now they're saying, well, we got the Speaker of the House, she's got a better 3-point program. But we're going to wait another 2 years to do this? Now, I think that their worst nightmare might be if Miss Clinton got elected and she wouldn't accept Insure Tennessee. She would make them go back to the expanded Medicaid that all the 31 other states have done, make it mandatory or not give them any federal dollars on their health care. And I know she's going to make it happen in South Carolina, because I heard her on TV back when South Carolina was doing the primary. She got a little mad at the Governor Haley over there, and she just said, well, we may not have it right now and you may be bragging about it, but if I get elected, I'm going to mandate it. So we need to get together and get this thing passed quick before anyone takes office. If Mr. Trump wins the presidency, he won't replace any of this until he comes up with a better idea, and they'll come up with a better idea maybe than what this will be, but it can't be any cheaper. You understand? So right now it doesn't cost us a dime. So why not do it? Okay? And I appreciate you calling me. And
everybody needs to get out and vote. And I'll be taking people. And if anybody needs to run, I'll come out and give you my number, and I will take them to vote.
Well, we've been hauling people, and people have called me and told me they've not voted. Some of them have never voted and went down and registered just to vote for me, and I appreciate that. You don't know how much I appreciate it. I think come Tuesday week, I was a long shot to win this race, okay? A long shot. And I think Tuesday week, there might be a small upset. It might not be as big as if Tennessee had beat Alabama in football, but it might have been as big as South Carolina beating Tennessee in football. Okay, so it could be a little upset here. So, but I've heard nothing but good things. I've talked to 10,000 people. We've talked to 10,000 people, and I think we're doing very, very well. Now, I'm still a long shot, okay? And I would be disappointed if I lost. I would not be surprised. But maybe we put enough heat on these politicians And, you know, a lot of people down in Nashville are not politicians. They're good people. Democrats and Republicans, they're good people who wants to serve and help. And those people will pick up they'll pick up the pace. And every TV station says, well, Insure Tennessee is dead on arrival. Well, I don't believe that.
No.
And I believe in the goodness of people. I believe in Tennesseans are the most gracious people. That's the reason we're the volunteer state, okay? I mean, we volunteer to pick up and do things other states don't do. So I believe that anything can happen, and that's the reason I'm here. And I'm going to ask.
Appreciate.
Okay.
I really appreciate.
Okay.
You going out and vote Brett against him. He's had a free ride too long.
Right, yeah. And we're gonna work on them. Okay, we're gonna work on them. And even if I don't get in, maybe some of my ideas will get in. Maybe insurance will be raised up and be passed. Maybe the teachers will get a break and get a better deal. Maybe we get a driver's license center. Maybe the state workers will get a raise each and every year and keep their longevity pay. And maybe we'll get better roads, bridges, and keep our state parks open and in good condition.
Good condition.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you a lot.
Appreciate it.
Okay. Honeybee, are you back there?
Yes, sir.
Okay. I'd just like to say one thing before I leave. My name is Bob Fannin. I'm running for state representative of the 36th district. I would appreciate your vote. Early voting is through Thursday night, and then the election is Tuesday week. Be sure you get out and vote, no matter who you vote for. I'm also running for city council, for re-election of city council. MTAS came to me and asked me, since we straightened out our situs reports, which means we're getting now all the sales tax that La Follette should be getting, and because of me, I usually don't honk my own horn, but because of my persistence in this, we are getting close to 1.1 million this year than we got last year. So I'm very proud of this. Now, a lot of councilmen went along with me, and I appreciate that. And but we got that going, and we're going to have a city is going to be in pretty good financial shape. Again, I don't see any tax increases in the future for the city of La Follette. So I would appreciate your vote for if you live in the city, it'd be the only time you can vote twice and it would be legal. And I can handle both jobs, and I appreciate you, and we'll see you next week.
Hey folks,